am live. I'm going live. There, I made it. Pretty good timing. Hi, I'm Gary. You should go to jollyrogerukulele.com and get the sheet music for today's lesson. And I'm going to go there right now and I am going to post our link to this class on that very page, jollyrogerukulele.com. Post it there. It is 12:58, so we won't actually start the class for 7 minutes. So if you are watching the recording, and why wouldn't you be, feel free to fast forward 7 minutes at least, and then we'll see where we're at. Update. Hit update, and then we have to double check that it actually works. YouTube has been a bit of a challenge. It's been a bit of a stinker the last couple of days, and I'm ready for it to start working. I think it's worked better in the last class, so let's hope that we're going to start getting a little cooperation out of this thing. Let me slide down here, see if the link is working. I have to hit view page first, Gary. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to change my archive page, which I hurriedly threw together this morning, Monday, September 14th. That was yesterday. We did not have that bad of a day up until the evening class, and then it wiped out completely. So let's see here if this works. And it opens up to me. That's what it's supposed to do. And people are wandering in. Very exciting. So we have 8 people already. Okay, we're going to let's go for 40 today. Gary, is it Gary and Diane are in? They're from Southern Washington. It's very exciting. They've been pretty serious about this business. They're probably getting pretty good up there. I've never heard them play yet, I don't think. Have I? Have you guys sent me anything? I don't think so. Valerie's in. She says the sound is good. Vic says the sound is good. Valerie is that way, and Vic is this way. Vic is living up in Oregon, where all the fires are. So hopefully they're starting to. Hopefully she's wearing a mask. I don't know. What are you doing with all about all that, Vic? Staying inside mostly, I'm hoping. Let's see. Sandy's here. Welcome in. The chat box is working now. How did the Broncos do last night? The Broncos lost. We have a perfect record so far, 0-1. Yeah, no, I had nothing to do with it. I do know that they were playing the Tennessee Titans, who their kicker was having a terrible night of it, and then of course he ends up winning the game at the last moment. So he probably still has a job today, but I'm sure there's a little conversation in the coaching department about whether he's going to continue to have a job. It was pretty rough. The show came on real late at night, 8:20, and I watched the first half, and it was tied, I think, at halftime. And I thought, I'll go to bed and see what happens in the morning. So I woke up this morning and they had lost. So what are you gonna do? Hey, Red, in from Wheat Ridge. Wheat Ridge is right over there. It's a lovely place. The problem with Wheat Ridge is it's so lovely that everybody moves there and then they never move out, and so it's all long-term residents of Denver, which is they're a mixed bag mostly. Red is not a mixed bag. She's delightful. Let's see, Vic, Eugene, dense fog did. Oh, you had some fog moving. Oh, that's going to help. What help a little bit, right? Jeez, up in Oregon, it's supposed to just be wet and rainy all the time. They haven't had a dry summer, and now they got all kinds of problems. Hey, Terry, welcome in. Sorry for my sorry for my loss. you know, at this point, I sort of expect it. At some point, you're just like, well, it's the Broncos. They are not the Broncos they used to be. We're going to lose a lot. Let's see. That's right. You did. That's right. Now I remember, Gary. Here's the question. You sent me a super secret video of anything you played. I think it was Lynn emailed me something this week. I haven't read it yet, but basically says, I recorded this. This may be the last thing I ever record. So, let's see. Who else is coming in? Yeah, that's true. Red is the youngster on the block up there in Wheat Ridge. I probably did, Gary. I do read everything. Sometimes I don't have time to respond, and I sometimes forget. I don't know if you ever had that happen, but I forgot some stuff. Happened to me once. But I do have a vague recollection of you sending that to me, Gary, and I may still be in my inbox. I'm not positive, but I don't think so. I think I watched it and I was like, awesome, good for them, and then that was that. Pauline is in. Renee made it in. Diane made it in. Terry, yeah. Poor Cleveland. They struggled. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Beautiful sunny day in Chicago. That's delightful. Oh, we got 2 more minutes. I was gonna get started, but we got 2 more minutes. Let's wait 2 more minutes till everybody loads in. Um, let's see. I don't need to tell you guys this, but you should know um, that one of the things that's important is attendance. Not for me, right? I'm gonna be doing this a while, but what I find over over a long period of time is that musicians we get a little jaded, right? We are like, well, I pretty much know what's going on. Um, I don't necessarily need to keep showing up because I know how to play all this sort of stuff. Um, the reason that I like for you guys to continue to show up is I have seen the results of what not showing up does to musicians long term. When I, I teach a ton of face to face. Well, I used to, don't do that anymore, but uh, I used to be kind of famous in Lakewood for being the music guy at the city what do you call it, performing arts complex. And I taught lots and lots of classes every week, and I really spent a lot of time getting to know musicians on from ukulele, harmonica, guitar. We had Marcia ran the Native American flute program for a while, so I got a chance to talk with those people. And the one thing that I've noticed very consistently is people love music, and you love making music. The challenge is that life gets in the way, and you will find lots of reasons to not show up. And what will happen over time, and as I've talked to a million guitarists who were very serious for X number of years, and then all of a sudden, for some reason or another, they just quit. And it's not that they stopped loving playing guitar. It's not that they ran out of great music to play. It's that you get in a rut if you don't continue to feed your soul. And the only way, especially when you guys are at this level and you're playing some pretty complex music, that means you can do this. There's not a whole lot more. Not, I mean, I'll sit here and I'll talk at you every single day when you come in, but there's not a ton more that you got to know. Um, and you're probably not going to become a professional ukulele player. There's a limited number of jobs for those people. Uh, we have we have one guy here in town who I think thinks he's a professional ukulele player, and but there's no money in it. You have to have another job, this sort of thing. And what you want, you run out of like, what am I doing this for? Well, we're doing this so we can show up with other people and make music. And if you stop doing that, you will eventually just run out of the well runs dry. Yeah, you can still play, but you won't. And so I do really encourage talk to people that you know. Say, hey, just keep coming around. Right? We got a whole community built up here. None of us know what anybody looks like. That's probably to our benefit. But the idea is that I want you to be mindful that you're playing at a very high level. There's not anything else out there that's going to be probably. There might be a couple of things out there that might help you out in a different way or a different idea, but at the end of the day, it's all now going to be about playing music with other people, and it is a mixed blessing, right? Because other people can be a bit, well, they show up late and leave early kind of thing, but you also need to know that you got to find your people and then play with them, and you'll be teaching new people because you're playing at this high level and all of this stuff. And I just wanted to sort of toss that out there that, like, every day showing up seems like, what am I doing this for? Gary says the same exact things over and over and over. It's not about that anymore for you guys. It is about showing up, going through an activity, making sure. This is the 200th time that I have played 5'2", 2000th time I've played 5'2". Doesn't matter. Matters that we're getting together to play Don't eat almonds covered in sugar before you try to talk. I've learned this lesson several times. So keep showing up. Keep showing up. That's I think the message. And you'll find that you have a really lifetime of awesome music still to be built. Let's see who else wandered in. Let's see. Patty wandered in. LG looking forward to Gary's everyone's positivity this class. Oh yeah, Smoky in Vancouver a little bit, right? Too. That smoke is all whole West Coast. We want this to be positive, right? Weird stuff's going on out in the world. Some of us, depending on, well, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you want. The other side of the fence is a mess, right? And so, um, and your side of the fence is a mess too. We're just a mess, and so we want this 45 minutes a day just to be like, I'll deal with the mess in a little while. Jennifer's in, Cat's in. Laura, Cat, they're sending another hurricane your way. The last one didn't stick, so they're sending another one. I don't know if you've heard about that, but brutal. Let's see. Looking for. We have nice songs this whole week. So much. Oh, thank you, Vic. That's very kind. Yeah, it's hopefully fun. Sometimes it's not fun, right? That's the times when you got to show up even more. Best man. All right. All right. Oh, you guys are kind. Now, um, we've been having some challenges with YouTube, and you guys probably, I just should always remember. Oh, our freezer just arrived. Let's make sure that you remember if YouTube wipes out, sometimes it just wipes out, and then I will repost a new link on the front page of the website, just like I always do for a second stream. If it does, if we're mostly done, I'll be like, it's close enough. So if we've got half of the lesson, 3/4 of the lesson in, then I won't repost it. If the chat box crashes, I just keep going. Last night the chat box crashed. This morning the chat box crashed. I don't know. I'm not in charge of any of this stuff. I'm amazed that it works at all. So just know that we do what we can. We accept the fact that we're living in crazy times. We're going to have a great opportunity here to play 5 foot 2 and Imagine. And so hopefully everything goes smoothly. Let's play Imagine, shall we? Let's go dig into that. Now, in terms of Imagine and in terms of our friend John, there are some of you of an age that listened to the Beatles growing up. And I am told, I'm not really told, this is unspoken information that a lot of times I think I grew up in the early heavy metal age, so my band is Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and Eddie Van Halen. Right, those are my guys, and I expect that songs from those groups be done in a certain way. It's not on this, it turns out. Um, and you guys that grew up with the Beatles expect your music to be done the way the Beatles did it. But the problem is, it doesn't. It sounds different when you put it on this. And John made a big splash later in his career with Imagine, and that girl was hanging around. The girl whose name we do not speak was hanging around with him, and so I know that you struggle with this song a little bit, right? But here's what you need to know: turn off that part of your head. Don't be like it's got to be exactly what John did. Really, we've done enough Beatles around here, us guys, that you know we're going to have to accept some amount of difference between what's you listen to those albums 800 times 8,000 times probably. And then when we put it on this, there's some adjustments that have to be made going from a full band, a full electronic band, to a solo acoustic instrument. We have to make adjustments and the arrangements change a little bit. Sometimes you don't like that. And I'm encouraging you to know I do get it. I understand your reverence for John, not so much his girlfriend, but for John, and that we want to make this as close as possible to that. But there are going to be adjustments, and just know I love you and I care about you. I don't want you to lose your mind. This is pretty good. This is a pretty good piece of music. It's not exactly note for note because if he had a piano, you got a ukulele. There's difference in number of notes on those two instruments. Let's play this. Um, if you are a singer, the chords are not a problem. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. Okay, so there's nothing going on chordally that's gonna make you struggle. Everything in the chords is here. If you're a singer, you can handle this. Please know that I know better than to try to sing John Lennon. Okay, I have learned. So we're not going to talk about the chords really. There's nothing, absolutely 100% easy chords. It's part of the reason why this song is so famous is that you can, as a beginning piano player, you can play this song. And you'll find out with a lot of the really big songs, Silent Night, First Noel, those songs are very easy for beginning piano players to play it. And they have great melodies associated with them. And so they stick around for year after year, decade after decade, forever, forever. And so this is going to probably be one of those songs. It's pretty easy to play. It sounds good on every instrument. Um, the sentiment behind it is kind of nice. And so this will be a song that's around a while. So why not take time to learn it? Okay. Let's talk about the intro. The intro is everything on this song. Not everything, but it's a lot. Okay. So what is written here is okay, and I wanted to play to there so that you are aware you have to do this one thing right. Okay. Now, I don't necessarily know whether it's smarter to do your thumb or whether it's smarter to do your plucking. Okay. So both of those are legitimate approaches to this. Melody line and tough uke line are identical. This is an iconic beginning. Everybody, when you hear that, those notes, you're like, oh, that's John Lennon's Imagine. Uh, the key though is you don't want to let the last three notes and the next note into measure three, the last three notes in measure two have to be fast. Okay, bum 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 bum. If you don't rush them, you're going to add in a whole extra beat and it won't sound right. So let me give you what you don't want to do. Okay, if you hear that, it's not right. And I rarely care about being right in music, but I do care at this moment. If you want this song to sound correct, if you want it to be that legendary introduction, it would be like playing Stairway to Heaven, not exactly the way it goes. You better be a pretty good musician to pull that off. Most of the time, you don't want to do that. With this iconic beginning, just make sure, oh, 1, 2, 3, and don't linger on the two either. Oh, 1, 2, 3, oh, 3, oh, 3, oh. Yeah. Um, so, so what we want to do is make sure 0, 1, 2, 3. You got to on trip. This isn't a triplet, but it's a section where you got to be getting through it. Make sure you're shooting to get to that three in measure three, the first note in measure three, as quickly as possible when you go into the 0, 1, 2 run. Okay, and you might even short the eighth note a tiny bit because we're not really playing 16ths, but kind of. Let's give it a one more time. Just those first two measures into measure three. Try to play it exactly at my speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I like to play that again because I messed up about 10 notes in the 11 notes I needed to play from the top. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, do it one more time. I'm having a problem with my thumb wanting to go to the wrong string. So that leads me to believe that probably me playing it with plucking is going to be a little safer bet. Who knows? Let's try it that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, that's measures 1 and 2. We're spending a long time on 1 through 4 because it's important. If you get that right, people are like, oh, yeah, that's John Lennon's Imagine. And then they'll be fine with whatever you get accomplished through the rest of the song. But just know that you want to get that beginning right. And so I do think spending some extra time and really, really focusing on the end of measure 2 and the end of measure 4 to get those as fast as possible. If you can't play them fast, slow the rest of the song down so that you slow the rest of the notes down so that you can get that relative to the other one. So if you have to play those eighth notes slower to get the 16th notes fast, do it. Because I do think, I know, I don't think, I know, I've heard enough people in private lessons mess this up, that it does not work unless you can get those dun 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 dun. Okay, next. Um, when you come out of measure 4, there's a rest if you're playing melody. Rest. Okay. And some of you guys will get together with a friend and you'll be playing this. Just remember when you come out of measure 4 as a melody player, you got to respect that rest. Rest. Imagine there's no heaven. 2, 3, 4, rest, and then keep going on. Those rests at the beginning of these measures is really important. And so I've worked with, again, a number of private students, and frankly, we played it in orchestral situations a couple of times. And if we don't are not super aware of that rest, you'll end up in the wrong spot, and it just will end up sounding muddy and weird. Okay. That's another reason why people like this song. If you're a singer, you get to hear the chord first before your voice comes in. It makes it a little easier for you to hit the right note. Okay. Now let's go through, play the melody, just the words. There's not a ton to it. You will go up to sevens. I think that might, oh no, we actually do your 10. 7, 10, 7, 5, 3. So you do have that, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But on the page 1, you're pretty much in first position. You got a couple of 7s that show up in a 5, and then we'll talk about this 16th note coming up down the road. So for measure 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 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 Okay, page 2. Okay, so there's another place. Dun dun da da dum. Okay, I don't like 16th notes in ukulele arrangements because you usually can't pull them off correctly. So play it however slow you need to play it to get your 16th notes in time. So if you're coming in too fast, it'll end up sounding all muddy. Living for today. If you go, it won't sound right. You got to go fast. That's what you're working on there. And so that's why those of you guys that are not note readers, it's okay. You don't have to be, but you do need to know the timing. And that's why I have standard notation on every piece of sheet music I put out. You got to know those are 16th notes at the end of measure 16. And when you see 16th notes, that is the fastest you can possibly play a ukulele. Ba-bum, bum-bum, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum. And so have a strategy in place. 753. Okay, let's move on. Measure 18. Notice. Hi, Christine. Welcome in. Oh, hey, John. I didn't see you come in. 18. forward repeat. That means you're coming back here. You've already taken a highlighter, stuck it across measure 18 there. That's where your eyeball is going to need to track to. You know you're coming back here at some point. Okay, from 18, remember the rest at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 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 2, 3, 4. I blew it there, right? Dun, dun, dun. I couldn't slide fast enough. So you really need to have, okay, again, a 16th note. Now, on the next page, you're going to be having a F chord. When you get to the tough U part, you're going to have this F chord with the 3. I've written a giant note to myself. This is what you're going to end up on. So you may want to practice making sure your pinky ends up on that 3. Right? If you end up with your ring finger there, you're gonna be in a pickle. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's easy to talk about, hard to do. Okay, let's go from measure 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Rest. 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3. Okay. And then we go back. So when you get to the end of 37, you're going to go back to 18, not to the top of the page. Okay, so may or may not make you happy, but that's that's why we put those yellow marks in there. So probably if I'm playing this, I want page 1 to be by itself and 2 and 3 to be facing open, so that I don't have to turn the page from 3 to 2, right? That 2 and 3 are laying open, facing each other. Then let's very quickly talk about the ending, 38. 3, measure 38, sorry. Say dun dum. Okay. Now here's where the difference is in from the original versus what we do on ukulele. Once you get through the second time, people are sick of you playing this song. And so, and the world will live as one. I put a little hint of the introduction, bum, 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 bum. Something simple and easy to clean up the ending here. Live as one, bum, 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 bum. And then a nice 0033 to wrap it up. It'll make people happy. They'll be like, okay, that's enough of that. I'm glad you're sober. Okay. So overall, the song is not complex, but you do have this frustrating deal where everybody that you play this for will have heard it. They know how it's supposed to go. We want to get as close as that as possible. We want to get it right, and then we want to move on. Now, let's talk about the tough act stuff. Not too many things here that are really, really complicated that you guys have not seen before. When you go down to measure 14, we have the famous D minor bar on 5. So it's a bar on 5, ring finger on 7. Okay, that's what's going on there in 14. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the only chord that's even closely advanced. Measure 27, same thing. And then we do have the high G7 at 29. So again, 5, 5, and 7. Okay, and I will tell you the F chord at the beginning of page 3, measure 30. We've done it a million times. F chord with your pinky, but getting it on in time is going to be a problem because you got a page turn there. Hopefully, probably like I say, print page one separate and have two and three facing each other so you don't get caught up in that. And that's it. Those are the only tough chords in the entire thing. Um, that's it. Okay. So the chords themselves, the chord melody is it's plenty challenging to get it right, but it's not challenging compared to some of the other stuff we've played. Okay. All right. Take our time. Tough uke if you want, melody if you want, just chords if you want, and find out if we can make this happen. One from the top. One, two, three, four. To 18. Second ending. Okay. Another song where slowing it down is going to increase your effectiveness and really just make it sound really pretty. And it is really a nice piece of music. I think, like, you could just picture him sitting in their New York City apartment, sitting at the piano with a cup of coffee in their pajamas, like they lived in their pajamas, apparently, according to all of the photos from Annie Leibovitz. But just hanging out, seeing, hey, what's using just the white keys on the piano. That's it. All we're going to use. Can we turn it into something really nice? And they hit a home run on this one. Um, I think for me, the big challenge is those 16th notes. I try to take them very, very seriously. The page turn between page 2 and 3 is brutal for me. I'm probably going to end up having to do something about that because I just keep getting stuck on there. Um, and we've done enough of this B minor where it's not too scary, and we've done enough of this G7 where that's not too scary. And frankly, even that little G chord with your pinky up there, we've done quite a bit of those. So all of the tools and sets that we have put in prior to this moment, um, you can take this song and turn it into something, hopefully. And again, nice and slow, nice, slow, 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 and you'll end up with a really nice piece of music. There are a couple places, especially after the 16th notes, where it feels like you're sort of out of weird timing. Um, I think figure it out for yourself a little bit. I mean, I know what the sheet music says, but when you see an eighth note at the end of a measure, you're like, yeah, brother, how am I going to deal with that? Eighth note rest at the end of a measure. Those are the killers because that means the whole entire measure is off probably. But it is the song, so that's what we're doing. And yeah, I like it. All right, so enough of that. Um, if you want to have fun, wait till you're around a baby boomer, not a young baby boomer, a little bit older baby boomer, maybe in their 65, 70, somewhere in that range, and say something like, I really like Yoko Ono, and just watch them. It's really cute. There's a very, 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 very big thing that happened there, and I don't really necessarily know how to, I use it as comedy. You should too. All right, let's go grab 5'2" and see what happens. Ukulele. Now, 5'2" is another ukulele song. So what you have in front of you is probably almost for sure written on an ukulele. We only have a couple of songs that are worth playing that were really honest to gosh written on a ukulele. When I went through to put this song together, I knew that it was a Tin Pan Alley tune and it was kind of fun. But as I laid it out in the arrangement, I'm like, wait a minute, this is exactly fits onto this instrument exactly. And I thought, this guy, whoever, it's attributed to Weinrich and Mahoney, but they don't have good evidence that that's true. And back in those days, it was not uncommon for somebody to write a song, and then if you perform the song, you would also copyright it. And so there are many songs that have multiple copyrights by different people back in those days. And so the copyright on this is very iffy whether Weinrich and Mahoney had anything honestly to do with the writing of it or not. We're not 100% sure who wrote it. What I am 100% sure of is it fits onto this thing dead on exactly right. And so my assumption is that they probably wrote it on this and then they wrote out the piano music. And I do that a lot. I prefer writing on this than just about anything because it's fast and fun and easy, and I know everything. I have all my chords memorized, all this stuff. So I'll write a lot of stuff on this, really trying to stay focused in on having legit melody, and then I take it over to the piano and I see how it lays out on there. And it's you guys got the right instrument. Let's see notes over here. Oh, thanks for the note. It is awesome, right? For all the short people in the world. 5'2". I didn't know you were short, Jennifer. There we go. So now we know we don't have to talk to Jennifer anymore because she's short. 5'2". Another one of these songs where The narrator is delusional. These are my favorite songs in the world where the narrator is telling you this story and everybody in the audience knows that's not true. That's not at all what's going on. Smoke Gets in Your Eye is another song like that where you're just like, that's what you're saying is not the truth. What you're saying is completely wrong. Uh, uh, the Plain White Tees has a song called "Hey There, Delilah," and he's talking about she's in New York going to school, and he's back home writing this song on the guitar, and he's going to be famous. And you're like, no, that's going to happen. That's all true. First of all, that girl doesn't even remember you because she's in New York City. All right, let's talk about the chords on this one. F chord, 5'2", and A7, eyes of blue. D open D7. Oh, what those 5 feet could do has. And then if you're playing, just if you're singing, just use your regular G7. But if you're gonna, when we do the instrumental, we'll do the advanced G7. But you just use a regular G7. Has anybody seen my gal too? Okay. Then you repeat. Go back to 1. Turned up nose, turned down hose, never had no other bows. That's not true. Has anybody seen my gal? Let's talk about that C plus add 9. This is what happens when you do instrumental ukulele. You end up with this chord here. Okay. But when you're singing it, you can ignore stuff like that. You don't even need it. It's C plus add 9. What? Just play the C chord. Seen my gal. You can sing. You'll sing right over it. Your voice creates the plus add 9 ish sort of, and so you don't necessarily need to worry about what that means as a chord player. When you see super complicated chords and you're singing and strumming, you ignore the super complicatedness of it. Play the basic stuff and move on. That is for instrumental play. Okay. Now, then you skip measure 8. Let's play measure 9 and go on. Now, if you guys have the advanced A7, okay, again, for instrumental use. For singing, just use your regular A7. Now, if you run into a 5'2" all, you can use your open D7, covered in fur, regular G7, diamond rings, and all those things. Well, you can. When you see no chord, I'm usually pretty serious about it. Don't play anything there. You can bet your life it isn't her. Oh my! And then I would always slow "Oh my" down. It doesn't. I wouldn't keep it in time. Now you can bet your life it isn't her. Oh my! That doesn't sound right. So now you can bet your life it isn't her. Oh my! Could she woo? Could she coo? Could she, would she, could she coo? Has anybody seen? Has anybody seen? Has anybody seen my gal? 3, 4, 1. A chord, F chord. That's that little vamp ending that we hear a lot in Tin Pan Alley stuff. That's what you're going for at the end there. That A, F, A, F. F to A doesn't belong in this song. That's why it creates that weird sound resolve. And so that's why it works really well. Um, okay, that's it. Let's play the melody. 3, 2, 1. Oh, 3, oh. Oh, 4, oh. Oh, 5, oh, 5, oh, 5, oh, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 3, 5, oh, 2, 3, 4, 1. 3, 2, 1, oh, 3, oh, oh, 4, oh, oh, 5, oh, 5, oh, 5, oh, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 3, 5, oh, 2, 3, 4, 1. 3, 5, 7, 7, 8, 7, 7, 7, 8, 7, 7, 5, 5, 7, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 5, 5, 5, 7, 5, 5, 5, 6, 7, 10, 10, 8, 6, 0, 3. Oh, I blew that. I forgot a 7, didn't I? Go from 15, from measure 15. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 7, 5, 5, 5, 6, 7, 10, 7, 8, 6, 0, 3, 4, 0, 3, 0, 0, 4, 0, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 3. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 3. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 3. 0, 0, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so that ending doesn't work by itself in the melody line. Has anybody seen my gal? 2, 3, 4, 1. So probably go ahead and move that up into the little vamp there, the A chord going into the F chord. Just move that up into the that line, melody line, and then you'll have a more solid ending on that. All right. Now, here's why I know this is a ukulele song. We're going to learn the tough uke, and you're going to be like, well, that's exactly, everything's exactly, it happens too easily, okay? But it's not easy, but it's easier. Start with your F chord, hit your strum. Well, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now you're going to hit your F chord, add your pinky on at 3, and then take it off. Then you switch to an A7, you strum that. Pinky. Okay, open D7, pinky. There's no chance that you would have written that on a piano, in my opinion. Okay, next thing is we're going to go up to measure 5, the high G's. And this, again, works out absolutely dead on perfectly. He's thinking, all right, I got to go up to this high G to get my melody notes that I want. I'm going to just hang out up here for a while, go Taylor Swift on this piece of music. 5, 5, 5, 5, drops into a C major, 3. Only weird thing is your index finger's on 1 and your pinky finger goes to 5. Again, easy to do on a ukulele, not something you would probably think of on a piano. That's weird. And then F chord. 2, 3, 4, 1. Back to measure 1. And now this next section requires a tiny bit of pre-thought. Okay, so when we go to from measure 9, oh, there's somebody. Yeah. Sorry, guys. We end up with these weird spammy things. Okay, so measure 9 is going to require you to pre-think. Okay, 3, 5. You have to have your pinky on the 7. Because your next move is to put on your fancy A7. That's index finger on 5, middle finger top string 6, and ring finger third string 7. Okay, so this is the shape. It's an E7 shape with your index finger second string on 5. Okay, so that's the shape you're trying to get to. Okay, that's an A7. And now all you're going to do is move your pinky back and forth. Run into a 5-foot 2 all. Now you got a plain old regular D7 here, bar on 5, A7 shape. Covered. You have to add your ring finger on 7, in, and then take it back off. 2, 3, 4. Your high G7, okay, 5, 7, 5. And you're going to use your pinky to get the melody. diamond rings, and all those things. A couple of fives, you can. And then this is just straight melody. Five, bet, 6, 7, 10, 7, 7, 8, 6, oh, 3, 4. Go grab your F chord. And it's all the same as the beginning. Could she woo? Could she coo? Could she? Would she? Could she coo? Has G7 on the high G7. Anybody seen? Has anybody seen? Has anybody seen? Open my F chord. Gal 2, 3, 4, 1, A, F. That's what we're after. Okay? Got just enough time to play it through one time. Okay? We'll go quite a bit faster. One. I'll count in 5. How about that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4. 'Okay, and then back to your F chord at 18. G7s. 2, 3. 2, 3, 4, 1. Just let it ring out. Okay, that's a super fun song. It's that should for sure be on everybody's top 10 list in the ukulele world. That thing is awesome. That's what I know. It's 1:51. I kept you 1 minute too long. I apologize. Get the heck out of here. Have a wonderful day. Yesterday's song, today's song. We got some really fine music on your hands, and then as we go through the week, tomorrow we're going to be dealing with Feeling Groovy, Edelweiss, and we'll probably toss in Can't Help Falling in Love as well, since we went over that in some detail last night. So Feeling Groovy, Edelweiss, and Can't Help Fall in Love. Let's try to get all 3 of those in tomorrow. That will leave us then Bridge Over Troubled Water and Always Look on the Bright Side of Life, which are kind of challenging. And yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, let's try to get 3 in tomorrow. So show up early, you guys, and we'll see what we can do. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Keep playing ukulele. Keep showing up. Keep showing up. That's the key. Keep showing up. Even if you don't play at home, just show up. Or start your own group. And then if you feel like you have to be ready, right? Sandy, good to see you. Vic, thank you. Renee, mahalo. Good to see you. Where did I leave off? Have a great afternoon. Pauline, good to see you. Thanks, Kat. Get an umbrella, Kat. Patty, good to see you. Evelyn, it's a treat. It's a fun song. Laurel, thanks for that. Jackie, we'll see you soon. All right, kids, I'm going to yank the plug, and I will see all of you either later today for baritone or guitar, and the rest of you I will see mañana.